Mr. Russ Jarmesty then is in our respective houses because we can't be with each other having a drink, so we're instead having a little wine video cast today.
Yes, well, I'm in the house in the gym, so we only have paper cups, but I can show you wine.
Perfect, cool. So thank you very much for chatting. Obviously, I've been come and train with you a few times. We've had a few chats. You've been in Martial Masters, the book, things like that. But yeah, it's been a while, so it's always good to have a catch up, see what you're doing, see what you're up to. So I think most people will probably already know who you are. But do you want to give us a little bit of a summary of your background? I don't want to go too much into it because I think people can read about your history, can't they?
Yeah, I'll do the background they'll probably be interested in. But the martial arts one. My background's easy. Started in karate, just didn't even need it. Already quite capable of doing what we did. But the karate was good to give you an outlet. Well, instead of getting in trouble for hitting things, you got belts.
Exactly. Yeah, you got a clap. Well done.
Then, like I said, went onto the doors and needed more skills, so the Jiu-Jitsu came in. I think most people are trained with Trev for quite a while. He was a family friend. My mother was married to one of his best mates.
Yep, Trev Roberts, the legend.
That's right. Then the rest of it was 15 years on the doors, you see, because I was brought up with the kind of, if you're going to get something, you got to earn it. So I wanted to be like the people around me. They were all doormen, they were all big guys. My dad was a man's man. So I went into the man's world, and to me that just said, doors. I'd have gone into the fighting side, but I broke my neck when I was 19, so the doors was the next best option.
Right.
And I'd say that was my best instructor. Then 15 years on that, I finished, and the difference with me and other doormen, I think, was I was there for a different purpose. I wasn't just filling hours and putting a wage in my pocket. I wanted to teach martial arts for the rest of my life. So I thought, if I went on the doors for 5 years, no one can question me. But as all doormen out there know, try quitting the job. It's semi-impossible. So 5 years turned to 10 turned to 15. And then, like I said, I popped my head up then in the martial arts world. I was already teaching on my own club, where I thought, I've got enough experience now to be able to speak clearly on a specific subject. So I popped my head up. And since I did, it went a little bit mad. I think at times, I think it's strange that, because I wasn't really doing anything special. I was just doing what most people in that environment do. But in the martial arts world, when you actually said, I've had a fight, I don't know.
What?
I had an after one. And then, you've had a fucking proper fight.
Yeah.
It was just a strange feeling. So I suppose I got known more for the mental side of the martial side rather than the art, because everyone's got an art. But to actually do it, there's other ingredients you need to have, and that's what I went on the doors for. So that's my background technically, and then I think I finished that probably, this is where I hate it. You get older when you mention how long ago it is, don't you?
Count the years back.
Yeah, a good 10 years ago we quit, and since then I've travelled up and down the country teaching everywhere I possibly can. But I think they love the mental side as well as the techniques. So yeah, that's pretty much my background.
Perfect, yeah. So what got you started in it? You said you started with karate. So why did you start? Was it, you said you were already a bit of a fighter anyway. Was that
when people say
just
started,
for personality? Or?
Yeah, when people say started, they mean like go to a club and pay to fight them.
Yeah.
I started martial arts years before that. My dad's a judo boy. So every time I tried fighting with him, I'd end up on my ass looking at the roof, and I loved it. I couldn't figure out what had happened. No matter where I went to him, no matter what happened, I'd be on the floor looking up. My dad was quite a strict man with our family history. We were martial from day one. We were brought up with martial values, I'd say. The don't lie, don't steal, cover your own ass, blame no one, shut your fucking mouth, all that stuff. So I'd say the martial arts training started when I was a kid, but actually paying cash, I don't know why I did it. I think it was more like I wanted to see what they like. I was quite a knocking heads kind of person, so not in a bad way, but I wanted to see stuff, and if people were gobbing off, I'd want to see what they've got. So the martial arts trend was going, and I just thought, go for it. And to be honest, it was shit. Me and Darren would be the only two people who could spar together. Everyone else would stay away from us.
How old were you at this point?
We like the discipline. It were a good, strong, disciplined karate. So the fighting style worked the best, but they'd have you in a stance for 20 minutes and hit you with a stick. I love that shit. It was conditioning.
How old were you?
I was 19 at that point. My dad wouldn't let me go to martial arts when I was a kid, you see.
Why is that?
I don't think he knew I had the discipline for it, or maybe I'm not too sure. He was high up on martial arts. He loved the judo. Always advocated it, but never took us to a club. But I was always scrapping. You know, I come from a council estate to a nice affluent area, so we kind of stood out. So you get a lot of attention. So we didn't really need it. I suppose, you know, if I was getting beaten up and in trouble on the streets and losing fights and stuff, he'd have sent me.
Yeah,
not that happened.
It didn't happen,
yeah. So I mean, just I don't know. To be honest, like I've said before, the martial arts is a very strange game, mate. My best instructor has been the bullies that I had when I was a kid who tried to give you a good kicking. They wake you up quite quick. The doors, the martial arts training. If you get the right instructor, which is why I stayed with Trev. Love Trev. He had none of the persona that martial arts had. You know, where you think they're sitting under a waterfall.
Yeah.
And
all zen.
Yeah, and Trev was just so. It was straight. His martial arts had a clean purpose to it. It's like
he's just down to earth, isn't he?
Yeah, well, do you know what he is? Right? He was an underdog. You know, people say, "Oh, you know, he's fighting for the underdogs." And that. Well, why do you think we were underdogs? So we learned to survive in that, and then we wanted to pass it on. So his martial arts was. I love the way he teaches me. You could just tell it with heartfelt the whole way through it. And then you put your own personality and shit into the technique, don't you? But yeah, I'm not sure why I started. And I still, you know what sometimes gets me on that question, right? Let's say I wouldn't have started martial arts and I wouldn't have had a black belt, but I was still good at fighting. Would I have the recognition I'd have in the martial arts world now?
That's the thing.
For a black belt, it did nothing for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the martial arts for just eating things. That's all it were. Me and Dad could have a fight, and that was it, really.
Yeah, perfect, good. So how long did you do the karate for then before you kind of went, no, it's not for me, I need to find something else? And what kind of made that switch?
Before, when I got to my brown belt, I won't say fell out of love with it because I weren't in love with it.
Okay.
I'm the type of person where you can give me a shit product with a shit salesman and a shit instructor, and I can still make good stuff with that. So I never needed an instructor, if you know what I mean. I just needed the technique.
Sure.
So I won't say brown belt. I made a conscious decision to jump into a style that was more suited for me because I love the hands-on brawling contact.
Okay.
Jiu-Jitsu was built for that. So you scrapped with a guy on the floor, you felt like you were having a scrap rather than, you know, pinning a tail on a donkey at times.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So you found Trev doing that then, and then you trained with Trev for.
I trained with Trev probably. Well, you see, it's for people. I trained with Trev for probably about 3 years solid, and then I broke my neck in his class.
In his class?
Yeah. On a
Are you putting the blame on him then for that one?
No way in the world. We all stand on our own toes, my friend. Shit happens. It was just one of them things. We were doing a little drill on the floor, a little bit of pressure testing. So you lay down flat, you have everyone stood around you, and you give them numbers. So we shout one to go in for you. Your job was to just get up and get off the mat. It's just soul destroying training.
Yeah.
So I started getting a smart ass. Funnily enough.
Standard, yeah.
Sounds normal. So I started clocking where the numbers were, and I thought, right, shouts 5, I'm going that way. But you were making them walk around in a circle, so I didn't know where they were. So he said 5. I went one way, clocked on shit, turned the other way and straight into a knee on my head that just compressed the neck.
Yeah.
So no blame. But what I did do with Trev's was at that point, which was why I'd say the martial arts has got 2 sides to it. I mean, it's got the technique side, and then I still carried on going to Trev's for about a year and a half. On my normal training sessions, just watching and sitting and listening because I'm a people watcher. I think I learned more in that year and a half, sat down watching, listening to him, than I did on the mats. And I think the reason for that was, I see it like, when you're training, it's like putting a spotlight on your training. You know, the spotlight's that big.
Yeah.
When I had to sit back and just watch, it was like putting a floodlight on the game.
Yeah.
and I could just see everything. So that year and a half I went sitting watching while still teaching, give me a proper good edge for when I got back to it full on.
Nice.
I could see a little bit of a bigger picture.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because you think nowadays, and how many people would do that? You know, they get injured, they're out.
Right, it's like this game at the moment. Right? People would go, a certain scenario could happen on the doors,
Yeah.
and you could save someone's life, and people go, "You're a fucking hero, you." Oh, piss off, mate. I chose this job.
Yeah, yeah.
For my reasons. I remember having a doorman working with us once, and it kicked off on Revolution on the locks. I hope he's watching it as well. He's still a dickhead. It kicked off on the locks. It was just a kick-off. Anyway, you're having your scrap, which is, I think, what you expect to do as a doorman. So we've done it. Anyway, he's got this guy in the corner and he's holding him. I'm going, yeah, let him go, dickhead. They'll phone the police. For what? He hit me. He's assaulted me. I went, shut up, you dickhead. We just levered him. Let him go. No. He hit me. He has. And mate, he followed it through. He phoned the police. It was embarrassing for us all. So when it finished, what are you doing, mate? Anyway, he has no right to hit me. You're a fucking doorman. What do you expect? Anyway, he got sacked. He would get a little corner and a picket going, wouldn't he? A green with him.
Yeah.
But you know, when you choose your job.
Yeah.
So if you choose to go into martial arts, and you get hurt and you leave, you failed martial, mate.
Yeah.
So martial is non-existent. But again, I think that comes down to coaches, because sometimes to get someone a bit martial is a balance point where students can leave, you know, because you can push them too hard.
Yeah.
But with my club, I prefer someone to leave and let's say I kick someone, don't join my club because it's a bit rough. I prefer them to walk past my window going, rough bastards in that place, or at least respect it, rather than walking past going, wankers.
Yeah.
So I understand when you've got to get someone into that martial mindset, not everyone's capable of it. So I don't soften what we do.
Do you think that can be taught, the martial mindset? Do you think it can be taught? Do you think it's something that
if they're pissed off enough, if they're pissed off enough at something, if they're pissed off enough at something, of course it can. But that's not taught. That's an experience and a need that they have. And I can give them the bits where they'll come to me and go, yeah, Russ, with experience, what do I do? And then they'll listen to me. But let's say you've got no need for, then no, you can't make someone martial if they have no martial needs. So you got a nice village and everything's cool. What's the point of knocking on Dorothy's door? She ain't interested. But let's say you live in a shithole and things are going on and you knock on the door. She's listening, isn't she?
Yeah.
So you can't change people and their experiences. And this is why I said the good thing about my club is, and I don't say it in a shit way, but it's just a conveyor belt, mate.
Right.
I've done this 22 years. People jump on, people jump off. And I'm the monkey in the middle that keeps it going. But you can only make a fighter if he knows he's got to fight. And he's at that point. Then I can show him how to fight proper. Proper fight.
Perfect, cool. Okay, so when did you start teaching the martial arts then? Like, officially, when did you start? Was it when you were doing door work as well? Were you balancing?
No, I was teaching about 21. 2 years after when I got to my brown belt, I started teaching for the club. Once I left that club, I had a fallout with the instructor. He wasn't happy with something. He come out with a bit of an aggressive attitude, and I was always respectful, so I understand why he did that. But then when he did that, that lost the respect, so I turned back into old Russ, and his little arse dropped. And I saw him in a different light, and I lost all respect for the guy at that point. So I was teaching from 21 onwards, but then I there's a bit of bitterness and spitefulness. I denounced karate at that point.
Okay.
But again, people say, what was your karate like? I go, well, define karate for me. All I did when I had that karate was it was good on the mindset, you know, in stances, stress positions. The Jiu-Jitsu were more active and scrapping. So I think I've always been karate. I associate karate with proper mindset, minus the technique. The techniques we have were shit. For a proper fight. It's like watch a karate guy, and I can fight a Shotokan guy, no problem, and I look like a Shotokan, but fit that into a real fight, mate. Fit that nice, clean into that mess. It just doesn't go. So, I was teaching from 21. And then when I started the doors and I decided to make my own club, I spoke to my mate Gordon Banner, Trig. He's a screw now. Shouldn't be a screw, honestly. I won't trust him to look after the fucking parkings. And he's a hostage negotiator now as well. So if you're in prison and you get in trouble, and a guy called fucking Banner walks in, honestly, you might as well just. He was a friend, and I asked him if he wanted to train, and he started training. But my training then went completely off what I'd always been doing. I'd have an incident on the door of a fight, and that's all we drilled for the next week. That exact incident. And half my job then was saying to my students, he hit me a lot harder than that dickhead, but he holding back. And then I realised, wow, the biggest thing you've got to get out of someone is saying, oh, you can hit me. You know, you can proper hit me. But I'm like, and so it's the training at that point became like just the doors so I could survive week in, week out. Sure. After about a year of that, the martial started blending back into it, and it started making sense. But I technically denounced all my training from that karate for quite some time, while obviously not denouncing it, keeping the mind.
Yeah. So you did it for 15 years then on the doors?
15 beautiful years, mate.
Yeah, which wasn't meant to be 15 years either. Wasn't meant to be, what, 5 years, 10 years?
I think I'm like most people, mate. I lied to myself and I lied to most people. So I think it was always going to be 15 years. You see, when I was younger, I looked up to certain people, and it were them kind of people. Now, go back to a question you asked before, what was slightly different with me on them doors was I was there for a different reason. I was there to teach for the rest of my life. And what upset me sometimes when I'd see these doormen who were proper good figures, mate, in the town, you know, the man to be. And I'd see them 10 years later and they'd be in a fucking bedsit surrounded by beer cans, mate. Right. I feel, what's gone wrong? Mm-hmm. So I always had a bigger picture of not ending up like that. I wanted an end product to something I was doing. I've never done anything without it having a fucking purpose to it. And I think when I was on the doors, like I said, a lot of the old school doormen, it's a shame to see the states they've ended up in, some of them. I mean, they fucking sorted that town out. They sorted the city out. They saved lives, and they got fuck all from it. But again, I don't think you can whimper about that because they chose the job, didn't they? Yeah. But yeah, it was 15 beautiful years, mate. I loved it. It was great. Everything that could have happened. It happened.
Is there any standout moments for you?
Yeah, too many.
Too many, yeah.
Yeah. Well, just recently, my right-hand man that I kind of fucking knew for years, Ben, killed himself just at the beginning of the year, which you know about. So the problem I've got is every story that I fucking tell includes him.
Yeah.
So, I've got hundreds, mate. You could pick a fucking subject if you want now, and I'll tell you a story on it. Whether you want to say funny, depressing, fucking life, death, marriage. Give me a subject, mate. I'll give you a story.
Let's go for a funny one then. Let's go for a funny one.
Fucking hell. Have you got a good 4 or 5 minutes on this, yeah?
Yeah. You take as long as you need, mate. I'll just sip my wine and enjoy.
Right, well, this is great, right? Ben was working on the doors when he like said, mate, Ben's forward. Fucking love bastard shit out of him. The first time we met, we just had a big old fight, and I knew, you stay here, mate, we're sticking together. Anyway, what happened is we had this girl that used to come into the club called Donna, and she was in a wheelchair, Donna. She had a muscle wasting disease. Proper thing she was. Anyway, she'd been coming in for months, and she had a thing for Ben. You could just tell. And Ben's a big, strong lad, right? So she comes up one night, and she's got a flat on the wheel, so she can't get up the curb. So I've got it, we'll get you in. So I've gone, no, Ben, yeah, you're the muscle man. Go fucking, go do your thing. So he's kind of puffed his chest out, got up, gone round the back of her, grabbed the wheelchair, and a fucking little axle. Stood up, picked it up, and the fucking chair went like that, mate. Oh. And this girl fell out of it, and she fell and hit the floor like that.
No!
On a Saturday night, with the biggest cues you can ask for.
Yeah.
Now, Ben just stepped back, fucking mortified, with his head in his hands on this lamppost. I've had to take the... But a mate then turned around and said, oh, don't worry about it. It happens all the time, this. So, that broke the ice for a minute.
Yeah.
So we kept a straight face. Donna's got to get in now, so I took Donna back in the club. Yeah, all right, love, yeah, she's fine. Ben stood there going, fucking hell, mate, shit. Anyway, she then comes and takes a table right next to the door so she can see us. Right, so I'm looking in going, Ben, mate, that's tight as fuck. You just tipped it out of a chair in front of everyone. Go get a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
So go get a bottle of wine, you tight ass. So he's gone to the bar, got a bottle of wine, brought it back to her. And I'm watching, and then she gets her phone out and starts going, fuck's she doing?
Mm-hmm.
So he comes out and went, fuck. I went, what? He went, she's just asked for my number.
Right.
I went, and you give it to her? He went, yeah, barring the last number, mate. Standard, change the last number. So I went, see, all right. And then she looks at him and goes, I won't bell you now.
Oh, no.
So
Rookie error.
And she goes, I think it's a rock. I went, get in fucking there. You can't tip her out of the chair and then give her the tough number. So he had to go inside and give her the number. And then spend the next 2 weeks trying to let her down gently.
Mm-hmm.
But then it escalated because she started coming in with her friends.
Okay.
And her friends had disabilities also. So when her friends had come in, Ben would go, I'm fucking gone. You know, I can't be trusted around people with disabilities because he drops them. So he went and hid inside one day. And then Donna walks in with a friend, and a mate who used to get on with Darryl. He were in calipers, you know, so he couldn't walk too well. He were on crutches and straight legs. So I walked at the door and went, Ben, Donna's in. So he's gone to move quick to the stairs, where he's just walking behind him, and he's knocked him.
Oh, another one.
I nearly went this one. But Ben scrambled, he grabbed his hand, and this kid's in like a V shape with shit on the stairs. So he went, and then afterwards we just spent hours going back downstairs watching the video, you know, the original.
Yeah.
You could see everything happening, mate. The crowd do that. Ben's soul destroyed in a split fucking second. You could literally see it from flipping this girl out of the chair. So it might not be funny to some people, but you know the dark sense of humour, we rode that fucker for months. And then no matter what happened with anyone that would be a disability, you just have to get off. So yeah, that's a non-violent, funny one.
Nice, I like it. You talk about a dark sense of humour then, so I can imagine that was pretty important when you were working a job such as yourself, when it was like full-time door staff, seeing violence and, you know, not particularly pleasant people probably on a day-to-day basis. You need that kind of release.
Yes, a story with Ben again, and it's where you go, you know, you see, something's always got to be done and said, and someone's got to say it, and it's the white elephant in the room, mate. And I don't have a control button for my mouth, but on this occasion, I was stood with Ben on Prague 5, and it kicked off at the side of us, and it was 2 guys chasing these 2 kids. So we don't like bullies already, so we always go for the one chasing, you know, to figure out what's going on. But this kid ran across the road with it by a bus, and he's gone straight under the fucking wheel. And he's not making it, this kid. So me and Ben have sat there with him and held him. Well, I held him while he had his few last breaths. And I remember thinking, everyone always says to people, don't they, oh, you'll be all right. I knew this kid weren't all right. So I just kept saying, close your eyes, my friend, and relax. You know, he was gone. So anyway, he passed away. The police come, got half an hour, and then Saturday night, so we've got to go stand back on the door, haven't we? You know, this happened early doors. And you've got that somber, macabre thing now.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you think something in your head, but you just say it, and it's the only way you can get around it. So there's nothing to apologise for, but it's, you know, we've got a fucking job to do, and there's only ways you can do certain things. So I remember sitting there and going, do you know what his last words were, Ben? He went, what? I went, fuck me a bus. No, I fucking hated myself for saying it. And Ben went, you cunt. And I went, I fucking know, but it kind of cracked the fucking atmosphere.
Yeah.
And we carried on with the night in a totally different perception.
Framing.
Don't think we didn't go home afterwards and fucking go through it step by step like you do. But right there and then, you've got a job to do. So if ever we spoke about that subject to each other, we do it with a smile and a giggle. But if we spoke about it to someone else, there was no fucking smile and giggle.
No.
You know, so it's that balance and twist of sick fucking sense of humour that gets you through some stuff now and again.
Definitely, yeah. It's a thing, So I suppose we should talk then the end of the door era, I suppose. Why it happened, like, was it just enough's enough, or?
it turned into bollocks, mate. You see, last door I had was Wilmslow Revolution, and it was a great door. We managed to keep it old school. There was me, Jimmy Kelly, Brendan Loughnane. He's just signing his next contract for his big fucking fight. It's a brilliant contract that kid's just got. Nice. Brendan Loughnane, well done, young man. Adam Waterfield and Lee Monaghan, all old school lads. And the door firm always tried splitting us up because they said, you got 5-head doormen on one door there.
Yeah.
But we have the old school rules. One leave, we all leave. But what we saw changing was we used to get a round of applause for the job we did. We'd keep the bad lads out.
Yeah. Then
we started getting in trouble for keeping the bad lads out because of the way we did it. But you know, when you keep a bad lad out, I can keep a nice guy out and go, oh, come on, mate, let's go. Do that with a bad lad. Come on, mate, please, let's go. And all that's going to do is encourage you to be fucking bad. Yeah. So there's a basic level, isn't there? It's like a little bottle top. You just stay slightly above the fucking fizz. So if they're that bad, we have to be that bad to make them not want to come back. But we only did bad things to bad people. The problem then started with the attention really came on us at that point of, what did you say? Could you have? And the honest truth to it, we couldn't have done anything different for our results to be the same, for the club to be safe, and us to be able to walk around these streets without looking like a dickhead. Legally, and I suppose through the legislations that came in with the door badges, yeah, we should have done it differently. We should have let him stab us, and then we should have said, look, my friend, if you do that, but we weren't built like that. So I think once the appreciation started disappearing, for what we actually fucking did, they could shove the money up their arse, mate. And we got offered a lot of money, and money was never a thing, because like I said, I had an end product for I was on the door, so I already had my job, money were free. So at that point, I looked at it and thought, you know what, them doormen are just sitting ducks now. We're not, but we started getting a lot of attention. And one of the police ladies in Wilmslow come round after I got stabbed, and I dug this kid's eye out. And anyway, he made a complaint, weirdo. He fucking stabbed us and then whinges. So she come round. The case went exactly how it was meant to go, because I had no choice but to do what I did. But she went, we don't really get any calls off you lot around here. You kind of police the place yourself, don't you? I went, well, we like to keep things nice and calm. So I just want to say we appreciate it. However, you can't be doing things like this. So here's our number. Give us a call if you get any trouble. Right. Anyway, what she was saying is a general, yeah, nice one, but we're watching you. Yeah, it's not rocket science. So a couple of more incidents happened, and this cop had come, and the way he talked to us were different. And I went, yeah, mate, you're looking at me like I'm the enemy. You know, I've just had him trying to bottle me, and you're whinging about me kicking him. So I could see the changes coming, so I thought it's time to jump, mate. Because not only do we get stabbed in the back now off the fucking baddies, we'll get stabbed in the back off the bobbies and the fucking owners. So I made a conscious decision to leave. And when that actually happened was when the new manager of a club tried charging me for pepperoni on my pizza. I know it sounds small, but I've really been well bigger for smaller things. So when that happened, he come to us and he went, Russ, we can't really let you have a beer at the end of the night and your door lads. And shut up, you dickhead. Just finished the shift. I said, all the bar lads are drinking. Yeah, but the bar lads have bought theirs. Yeah, they bought it with the tips from the customers that we don't get. So you telling me now I can't have a beer? And he went, well, so anyway, I had my beer, I made us all a pizza, and I nicked his speakers. And that was my last day working. I've still got the last one in that room. Just went well. So it got to the point where I think for me, Door World was real, and we were doing real stuff. And now it's just a paper line and a paved grass and a fucking. So we had to leave, if you know what I mean. We were dinosaurs at that point, and we weren't appreciated. And now we've had this 10-year gap. If we go back to them, I can kind of see why we weren't appreciated. We were funny, we were laughing, and doormen were the main point of call to a club. The doormen were the club back then. Now the doorman's got nothing to do with the club. You know,
in what way?
Checker. Yeah, it's just a fucking. Yeah. In fact, I think 2 weeks before we got sacked, Ben again got in trouble for chewing gum aggressively. Worked that fucking out.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Chewing gum aggressively, mate. And hands in pockets. So we left.
Probably time to leave at that point. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think to this is a bit of probably a sweeper and generalisation, but what do you think to the door staff of today then?
I honestly think, what the fuck are you doing, lads? You know, for the proper straight lads who were there for the same way we were, you're getting paid about the same as a fucking trolley boy at Asda, mate. Trolley boys are around 50. You know what? 9.50. We used to get 15 quid a night, cash in hand. I paid my taxes. But 15 quid cash in hand, and you'd make a fair bit on the side, mate. If I didn't go home with a good 100 quid in my pocket on a Friday, Saturday night, plus my wage, it was a bad night.
Sure.
Do you know, I know people now that are working the doors doing the same shit we did with less authority.
Yeah.
But watch this, Dan, right? 9 quid an hour, 4-hour shifts. How much is that?
4-hour shifts?
£9 an hour, 4-hour shift.
It was ridiculous.
How much? How much are they getting there, though? Go on. 36, yeah?
36, yeah.
That's that 36.
No good.
Now put your 5 quid petrol on it.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Now do you smoke? So you're having a pack of fags.
Yeah. Buy your beer at the end of the night.
25 quid some guy will stand on a door for. Listen, go fucking collect cans, mate. You'll make more money.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I think most doormen that we knew back then never did it for the wage, mate. The wage was good; it kept us there, but there was always a side hustle. You know, some money come from other objects. I don't understand the mentality now of a fucking secure. I said this years ago when I quit that, and I tried doing it, and I thought, fuck them. I'm not involved anymore. Let them do it. They haven't got a union. But if every doorman in fucking Manchester decided, I ain't going to work on Saturday because it's shit for £8.50 and the violence we have to put up with. I want proper training, proper fucking support and proper money.
Yeah.
You'd hit a balance point. You hold them, the clubs and the fucking town to ransom, and the doormen have got the power to do that. You know, it's like fucking Bugs Life, you know, all them ants got together.
Take it over.
Yeah, if you just said no more work on a Saturday, you'd only go a month. Every club would have to shut. They couldn't afford to open without you lads, and you get a proper pay for the shit you're doing. But it still winds me up, mate.
I can tell. Yeah. Okay then. So let's talk about your academy then, because it is a beautiful.
It fucking is, mate. This is part of it. I built it.
Yeah, it's so nice. Like, I've been there a few times, and it's every time I go there, just the space, the area, the location, everything about it is just proper. Yeah.
The best thing about this gym,
properly
right,
done.
is you've got like there's a feel to it, right? When I first got this place, you're talking 42,000 square foot of open nothing.
Yeah.
So, but the first time I walked in, I shut my eyes and I could already hear it. I could hear the noises, hear the fucking studio. I could see it. And it was just perfectly fucking right, mate. So I'd say, regardless of how this place looks, ask anyone who comes. There's just a certain feeling to it what I was going to say. You can point what that fucking feeling is. No one judges anyone.
No.
I think what we do is we take average people and we push for above average things. And if we
just a little bit beyond what they're used to.
Yeah, and if we don't make it and you fall over, we all laugh together, mate.
Exactly. I've fallen over quite a few times at your place, in fairness.
Tell me who's not, mate. Tell me who's not. Most of my black eyes come from here myself.
Perfect,
but no, the academies, I love it. It's just it's whole purpose built. 42,000 foot of training heaven, mate.
Yeah.
3 rooms, it's mint.
It's really good. Yeah, really good. So let's get into it then. You popped your head back up into the martial arts. What did you think? Or what year? What year actually did you start and pop your head firstly back up after kind of you decided
when I first popped my head up, there was I popped my head up and I spoke to people that I already knew in the world, and after a little bit of time, I fell out with them. And I think it's quite well documented the fallouts I had with the corners that they had, but I still respect every single one of them. To me, it's like they were given an opportunity and a golden fucking opportunity to change things for the better. And like most people, they take that opportunity to better things for themselves only. I was taught to be brought up with fuck all, so I really try and keep nothing. I remember going back about 5-6 years ago, I was making good pennies and I was struggling with it. I didn't know what to do with the money because money's a problem in our house. What I mean by that is a lot of the family were rich, disgustingly rich, and they fell out with every single one of the sons. You know, they all argued money was a common denominator.
Yeah.
So one half of my family, obviously, my father's Russian. So the Russians, I wouldn't say they had nothing, but he used to like to refer to them as our Russian peasants. They were just so nice and warm and comforting and straight with you. You know, you felt a part of something.
Yeah.
In the other section of grandparents you go to, they'd have a massive house with the staircases were like the opening for the Titanic. They designed it so it split off with a grand piano. Well, sorry, it was a three-tier organ at the time. And I remember I wanted to just go up to it and bang shit on there, but they won't let you. You have to learn a song. So I think I was 6 when I learned to play. When I'm 64, to this day, it's never benefited me, mate. When the fuck am I going to win? Going da 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 da. But anyway, and then they had a tree. They had 3 oak trees. That's why it's called the 3 trees. And you weren't allowed to climb it. Okay. There was just something very odd in this house when it comes to pennies. And I think I got this. I started seeing what a hierarchy was. You know, when someone thinks they own something, so they think anyone below them is theirs. I started seeing it, and I never liked it. So when I started making it, I always denounced money. I've had the opportunity to make a lot of money in this world, mate, and I've fucking thrown them all away. And I remember ringing one of my good friends a bit ago, Simeon, and I said, Sim, mate, you know, if you start making a bit of money, what am I meant to do with it? I don't want to turn into these dickheads. Yeah. Anyway, do you know what, Russ, mate? Stay grounded, just buy nicer shoes.
Nice.
I fucking like that.
Good idea, yeah.
Shoes all the time. Stay fucking grounded. Then I remember talking to my other friend, but it got to a certain point, and I went, Wayne is a great guy, Wayne Bell. One of the guys who used to come in my club, used to always chuck me his DB9s, any car you wanted, mate. He'd stop you. But he was just a genuine kid from Hardwick who made it. And he held no value in money. He held value in people and honesty. Anyway, I remember bringing him and I went, Wayne, mate, you know when you get good stuff and I've got the nice shoes and I'm grounded, what do you do? And he went, EE, Russ. EE. I went, what the fuck's EE? He went, employment and enjoyment, Russ. I get enjoyment from employing people. Right now, I've got 450 people at work for me. Okay. And I know each one of them is secure and the families don't have to worry. So that's where my excitement comes from. So if you hit that point, Russ, nice. So my outward thought process has always been for the same thing everyone around me was for, sorting out. I don't need sorting out, mate. I could sort my own shit out. I could go and take anything I wanted. So when I brought my head up in the martial arts world, and I thought, I'm going to be surrounded by people like I were in the doors, martial men, with the opportunity to. And I just saw them all taking, mate. Proper fucking taking. You know, because you just left one that took.
Sure.
And they will take the fucking person with the biggest worries. You see, this is where the martial arts game's shit, mate. I have never had anyone walk into my martial arts gym who doesn't have a problem. Isn't a little bit vulnerable. Think about it. Yeah, you feeling all right, mate? Yeah. The fuck are you doing here then? All good? Yeah, all good, mate. I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm strong. My community's mint, I've got no problems. What are you doing here, mate?
Yeah.
So everyone that walks in your gym has got something, haven't they? And they're looking for something. And as soon as an instructor clocks on these lot, put a bit of faith in you, too many instructors start dipping into their pockets, mate, and abusing it. And that's what pissed me off. But after about a year of popping my head up and knocking heads out, I met Scott, who was on the same road as me, and Tony Village. And then we kind of formed a bit of a trio where none of us were together. We were all individuals, but we were on the same path, if you know what I mean. So we made a bit of a racket in the martial arts world. Yeah. And what we wanted were the honesty to come to the front, which sometimes I swear in it. And we wanted, me personally, the martial arts world, especially my corner, the self-defense corner that I lived in, I want it to be clean and fucking eradicate the shit. And mate, there's so much shit. I mean, silly shit. You've seen it. You was a part of people who went too far down the rabbit hole. You've seen the silly stuff that people can post. Now, let's say the responsibility you got is this person comes in and he's vulnerable, yeah? And he believes you and he trusts you and he lays your faith in you and you teach him that stuff. And then, God forbid, that scenario happens and he tries it and gets fucking levered. You killed that guy twice, didn't you? You crucified the little bastard. And while you crucified him, you took money out of his pocket. Tell me what kind of person does that. So I have to, it's a bit of a fucking strange world, this way. I also think most of them don't know they're doing it.
Yeah.
They honestly believe they're doing the right thing. They have these generated fucking sayings like, well, I deserve this now. Deserve nothing. I hear loads of people go, martial arts saved my life. Well, then you owe it. It don't owe you. So you should be giving this out as much as you can. Now, we all need to fucking eat. But people clocked on to, and one of the main guys in it said, Russ, mate, everyone's a minion. And if you don't take charge of them and tell them where to go, they'll run around banging into walls. So I take charge and tell them where to go. And I thought, you horrible little spiteful shit. So I got disillusioned with it, mate. So I just started doing my own thing. And then I realised I'm not the only one who thinks like this. There were loads. But no one would stand up and say anything because they had a big corner that would squash you. But I've got broad fucking shoulders, mate, and I like weight. So the more they started throwing stuff at us, the more we got a little bit more on the front foot with it. So yeah, when I first popped my head up, I was dead excited to be in there like a kid. But it's like fucking the yellow brick road, mate, isn't it? You know, when you get to the end of that yellow brick road and you think you're going to see your dream, there's a little scared man on a fucking bicycle with a megaphone behind a curtain, mate. That's all I found. And I was disillusioned. So we started banging the jungle drums and making a bit of noise, and the mean streets got formed, and I started. But yeah, it's long answer to that question, Dan.
It's a good one as well, yeah. Why do you think it's so? It seems to me it's so rife in the martial arts world of people just bickering, arguing, bitching, and it's completely the opposite of what they say that they teach.
My mate supports Man United, right? And he goes and watches them everywhere. And the biggest buzz he has is knowing he supports that team, and he can have a go at the other guy. Fuck you! There's nothing wrong with fucking that segregation stuff. There's nothing wrong with me and you, me against you. There's nothing wrong with that. Done in a respectful fucking. But I think the martial arts world, half of them say, we wear a belt. So we're in the same boat, so we've got to cuddle. Then a lot of people are it's the most egotistical driven world I've ever been in, mate. You know, because you get given a belt, and you're wearing a belt, so all your students think you're. So you might get that persona about you. I understand that. I was a fucking doorman. I know what kind of power it makes you think you've got. But then you've got a responsibility to see how you're going to fucking play with that. So I think they get this big egotistical and they start believing it, the humans, so the brain will tick over a certain amount of times and that'll become real. And then when you say something like, listen, mate, how can you tell me I'm wrong when the last fight you had was in the fucking playground when the bully nicked your crap cheese slice off you? And they will argue the facts because they've read something. Now, I can't talk on the history of karate, for instance, like Simon Keegan could. I could talk on fucking my stuff. So when I talk on it, and then you get a nomad who's never fucking been involved, read all these genetic, it's like people, what's your impression of yourself, Dan, mate, when you're a martial arts instructor, when you walk in there? You know, every kid looks up to you like you're a living god, don't you?
Well, they've got a level of respect for you, hopefully, and
So what do you do with that? When you walk into the shop, do you feel like a living god?
No.
Good. You're fucking not, and neither am I. But these people take that persona home, mate. And I'm lucky I've always been around people that have kept me grounded. Shut the fuck up, Russ. Keep your head out of the clouds and keep your feet in the dirt, kid. Where it's meant to be. And I think everyone I used to see, I still see it now, they get to the top of the martial arts game and you go, well, what do you mean by the top? But like, people know you and people will pay you money for stuff. Well, I know people now that go, well, I deserve the right because I've invested X amount of time in this to now earn brilliant money and live abroad. And why? If martial arts saved your life, you owe it still. It owes you fuck all. So I know what the martial arts has given me, and I'm thankful for it every day. I make money. We have a very good trade-off here. They give me paper, money, and I give them experience. It's a very fair fucking swap, and that's where the relationship ends. But we become friends with all my instructors and my students. We're friends, and I think, see, I can say this now, and imagine how many of them will fall out of their fucking tree or off the waterfall. I smoke cigarettes sometimes, mate. I know. And I can sit.
You mean you're not a vegetarian? You don't run triathlons every day, and
Oh, don't sit on the waterfall, Steve, mate.
You're a human, Russ. What?
Hey, have you been to a seminar with me and ever seen me having a cig in the seminar?
Yeah.
Of course you have.
And a beer in one hand, the cig in the other.
Do you know, I think he went back to the old ancient times. The Japanese guy would be sitting there with a fucking sake in his hand, laughing at his ass at me getting it off fucking things. You know, I don't have this high persona of myself, and I don't feel like I've got to live up to anything. So I'm just me, and I'm like everyone else, bit of a dickhead at times, funny, and I've got one small corner to offer, and that's what they pay for. So the martial arts world, it's so weird, mate. It's the strangest game I've ever seen in my life. You see, I'd class myself as more. You say martial arts, and it puts me in a box. I'm more like a realist, and they attach that to the stuff I do, reality, self-defense. But I'm just a realist in full, mate. And it's a very strange fucking. It's a strange place, this martial arts world.
It's very odd, yeah.
Yeah, the amount of people I've seen this week as well, right? You're meant to be like leaders of men, yeah? And there's a couple of stories I like, right? There's meant to be leaders of men and fucking strong, and then the week after you see them whinging because two people didn't turn up to class and they were quiet and dead. Right, you lot, I'm going to close. And you've just said Now, I remember watching this programme a bit ago, and I loved the story because it was a lie, but it was a good lie for a good purpose. You know, like you tell kids Father Christmas.
Yeah.
Fucking lie.
A white lie, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was something like at the OK Corral, and there was I can't remember the names of the people, so I'm not going to go through them, but they're at the final little standoff at the OK, and everyone knows they die. Everyone knows they die, but this guy went back in a time machine and he's there, and he looks at the guy at the side and he goes, why are you so fucking cool? Because everyone's shitting it. Fuck, we're dead. And he's there. Come on, you what? He goes, why are you so cool? He said, you killed a bear with your bare hands, didn't you? You know, that was the story that gave this guy the fucking parapet to stand on. You killed a fucking bear with your own bare hands. That's why these men are following you. And he went, no, I fucking didn't, mate. And he went, what are you on about? He said, listen, I was having a piss. I turned around, the fucking bear come, I shit myself, fell in the gully, gun went off, luckily enough, shot the bear, mate. So why the fuck do you let them all believe that you're sick? Because these people need the kind of man around that can fucking lead them.
Yeah.
He's shitting himself as much as the rest of them, but he held his shit together. Because he knew it goes downhill. That's a proper fucking leader, mate. Shit comes, and I felt all the shit I felt when I was on the door, but I didn't show it because I knew it would seep into my door team. And that's, I think, one of the things the martial arts world falls down on, mate. They say something on Monday, and then on Wednesday they go to shit. And then they shout at a 2-year-old kid, you know, to try and squash the actual truth. So that's why I stay at most martial arts forums, and I've not done many interviews for a while.
Yeah, well, you're back.
Yeah. No, or Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking strange world, mate. It's like they're all holding on to something that, you know, they've got that ring, my precious. You know what you say? You've got to take the ring off them and they lose everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really talk too freely in the martial arts world.
No.
All sat waiting for you.
Yeah, it's a love. Yeah, I think people hide on the respect thing as well sometimes too far.
I tell all my students, please don't fucking respect me.
Yeah, I think a level of respect is good, and I think it's something that the martial arts teaches, but there gets a limit as well where it's just bullshit, and then you don't say anything because you've got a certain amount of respect for the level, and it's that balancing act. It's like speak freely, but also speak respectfully.
I still say to Jake will be watching this, and you, Josh, you'll be watching it as well. And they're two of my fighters, proper tough lads. Why I say we go out doing the MMA stuff, I don't want them going doing our stuff, but the mentality will transfer if ever they need it. So, but you know, when I watch them two spar with each other, they kick the shit out of each other, mate. Now they have respect for each other.
Yeah,
they do. They definitely do. But Jesus Christ, they go for it. None of them go for it like that with me when they spar with me.
Yeah.
And I get it. I used to take a stand back with my instructor and go, all right, you never went in them the same. So that's the one thing I try and get rid of my students. But when I realised you can't get rid of that, well, I don't need to spar with them. We talk. I give them a lot more than a beating and let him give me a beating. So the respect is, I've not asked for it, but if it's there naturally, I fucking respect it 100% and I won't piss about with it. But it's, you're right, mate. It's like it's the old colours, isn't it? Black and white belts.
Yeah.
I went, black belt, I'm better than you. Are you? I was kicking shit out of black belts.
Exactly, yeah.
before I started training. And most council kids on the state kick shit out of most black belts.
Exactly,
well.
that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's where you've got to reality check yourself, as you say, and kind of, you know,
Your feet in the dirt, mate.
get your feet on the ground, yeah, and go, actually, nah, it takes one punch, and all my training's just gone to shit.
Yeah, you see, this is why I'm good, right? People will go, oh, don't fucking around with Russ, he's good, he's all right. Yeah, I am. But the reason I am is because I hold a lot of value in my fucking self-preservation and life. So if you're threatening it, I'll do everything it takes to smash the shit out of it. Yeah. And if people go, oh, you're dead hard, I go, well, that's fucking hard. Listen, hard's paying bills, mate, and making sure your corners are covered and your fucking family's right. That's hard. Punching someone in the head. If it's that hard, why is there 1,000 videos on YouTube of every dickhead in the world punching someone in the head? It's not hard. It never was fucking hard. It was common sense, mate. That's all fighting is common bastard sense. Know what you'll fight for, and that's it. So I suppose, but this is why I got a bit annoyed with the martial arts rule. When I popped my head in, if I'd have popped it up and said I've got a black belt in karate, black belt in judo and jiu-jitsu, everyone with a first dan in each one of them styles would go, well, he's still below me. But because I said I actually fucking hit someone, and that's where I got stabbed, and that's where I got stabbed, there's me, oh, wow. Yeah. And I found that a little bit insulting as well. But I think, oh, now you'll listen to me. You know, I had to go through that for. But yeah, you see, you're only talking about the reality-based side of things here, aren't you? Because I don't interfere with the other side because I don't think I've got an authority to talk on it. And I think most people without an authority to talk on the self-defense side should also shut the fuck up. Yeah. And listen.
Why don't you think you've got an authority to talk on the other stuff?
Well, I would say I've got an authority to question and to put my thoughts in, but not to say to a guy that's spent 15 years studying karate, I'll dickhead you wrong, because I saw on YouTube last night, it said, I'd talk to him so much more, and I'd ask the question differently. So I've not got the authority to talk on it, as in to explain to anyone. I mean, if someone rung me today and went, hey, Russ, what do you know about karate? I can fill you in, mate, on what I know. Yeah. But because I know Simon Keegan knows more, I'll say, here's one for you, mate. I'm going to give you a phone number. Give this guy a bell. And if anything you need after that, give us a bell back and let us know. And I'll learn something. Now, if you phone me up and say, hey, Russ, I need to know something about self-defense, I'm giving you no one else's fucking number, mate. I'll take the call myself. That's just straightforward in my head. So,
Perfect. Cool. We've got a question then from Duncan, who's one of your Mean Street guys.
Freak!
Yeah, freak. He said, what are the thoughts on your, what are your thoughts on the current reality-based self-defense scene, and why less is more?
Straight. I'll go on technique.
Kind of covered that a little bit, haven't we? But yeah.
Yeah, I'll go on the technique jam to cover the story of less is more. But there's no one set rule. But what I'd say with Freak is this, right? I met Freak about 4 years ago. We were a copper in London and trained all the bobbies. He turned up at the gym to train. And when someone 6'7" walks in your gym, built like a brick shithouse, there's a few reasons, mate. He wants to test me and see whether I fucking am, or he wants what I've got. Yeah. So after the session, we went to the pub and I went, yeah, go on, what's going on? And he passed me his card and he went, I want to pass you this, Russ. But before you look at it, and I went, you're a copper, aren't you? You either want to stop me from doing what I'm doing because I'm getting a bit of traction, you don't like it, or you want what I've got. Now, if you want me to stop me, you can take your fucking card back. Anyway, we want what you've got. So I started thinking, all right. Now, he wanted what I've got, right? Because I can twist people up quite well. Yeah. But they have police guidelines in place, so you're not allowed to hurt baddies. It's not because you can hurt a baddie, but you've got to cuddle him after. But I love the law side of Freak, but I already knew the law side, right? So I'd say the martial arts world now in the self-defense is going to go this way. It's been said for years from Jeff Thompson and Gary Spires and people like everyone else that's been there, the same thing's been said, isn't it? We don't say anything different to each other. We might say it more eloquently or a little bit funnier.
Or less eloquently.
Yeah, but it's all there, isn't it?
Yeah.
The law side, I think, is what really needs to start fucking seeping in now. Yeah. So people like Duncan Andrews, Freak, he's imperative to fucking people with self-defense. Yeah. But that is also only if you actually are doing self-defense that will work. So nothing will change. You know when people go, what the world will be like in 500 years? Same as it was 500 years ago, mate, with a different fucking tie. It might be a shiny tie now, and your car might not have wheels, it might have them, but you'll still travel. So nothing's going to change. You'll still have the people that go through it, take it proper serious, and then can vocate it to someone, you know, and tell them what it's meant to be. And then you get the dickheads that will put the fucking belt around their head, read a few fucking passages, and they sit there waiting for the post that comes on with a guy with a knife so they can go, oh, run. I'll tell you one thing, mate. You turn your back and run on me when I've got a knife in my hand, I'll fucking catch you, kid. Could you run? But so I don't think anything's going to change, you know. And this goes back to when Freak says, "Why keep it basic and simple? You know, little things." Well, if something basic and, you know, life works like this: love, compassion, and do you think that's going to change in 500 years?
No.
Right. Well, self-defense,
Yeah.
You know, your reasons, your fucking intensity, and the stuff you use never changes.
Yeah.
So fuck all's changing, mate. What they wear will change. The way they spin the fucking conversation will change, and that's it. But what works, and it always fucking will do. But I think what happens is in the future you get more opportunity for people who know nothing to pretend they know everything. You know, from this TV stuff and media shit, and you create your own personality and persona on Facebook, and then you go home and you're still getting a backhander off your missus. So I don't think anything's going to change. But people like Duncan Andrews should go to the forefront now and start educating them on the shit that will get them locked up. Yeah.
So you've started to do that a little bit, haven't you, with the Cornerstone seminars?
No, well, this is it. When Freak come, he'll tell you himself. Nothing he said was nothing I didn't say to him. He just had a better way of saying it. So I'd say, do you know when this guy would be in it, he'd be fucking proper raging. I'd shout, yeah, watch the fucking knife, you lot, he's got a knife. And he just smiled. We do that now and again, Russ. And I was like, he said, well, in our business, right, we call that creating a witness. All right, yeah. Now, I just never used that term, creating a witness, but I did the same game. And I know humans. So if a guy's trying to kick fuck out of me, and I shout as a knife, all eyes and attentions are on me. And how humans work, let's say you go caught and it goes a bit wrong. One will say, I heard him say he's got a knife. Then you'll have another two dickheads that go, he had the knife. So I think when I met Duncan, he never told me anything I didn't know. He just worded it legally. And so within our mean streets, he's very, very involved. He trains with me every month. He's been involved for over 3 years. He's one of the main instructors, but he also offers a lot to my other instructors. So if I'm teaching for 4 hours, I'll teach on mentality and technique.
Sure.
I would never teach the legal side. I'd tell them stories of what I've done and how I've got off it. Not it sounds like you've got away with something. How I've managed to explain it's right and not get in trouble. So I would just do that. With having Freak there, it'd be insulting to have someone with his caliber in my gym and not give him a fucking bit of time to talk to my lot. So he gets offered that time and he'll ring me and go, Russ, mate, from last week, what I'd like to do is go, good man, and I'll see you next month. So he's imperative. But the martial arts world ain't changing, mate. Just like the way you live your life ain't changing. You'll just wear different clothes, won't you?
That's the thing,
that's it.
What about the coronavirus then? Do you think this will change anything, or do you think it will be back?
Let's say me and you talk one day, and we have a beer, and I get a bit out of hand, and I slap you for some stupid fucking reason, mate.
Fair,
And next day I say sorry to you.
Yeah,
and we're back mates. Will it be the same, or is there just something there?
There's something there still, probably.
There'll always be something. Nothing ever goes back to. It's like when my mate Ben passed away. Yeah, it's going to be fucking hard. You know, what's life going to be like? It'll carry on, mate. Just won't be as good. So no, nothing will be the same after this, mate. And you can have 1,000 conspiracy theories about it.
Of course you can,
what you have to do, or what you're being told to do, is what you got to do. So I don't do conspiracy theories. Well, I do hundreds of them. They're all in my head, mate. But I won't tell you lot about them, so I don't sound like a dickhead. But
tinfoil hat on.
Yeah, I think all the coronavirus is doing now is people want to say, give us an ABC to what's happening. You know, it's uncertainty is what humans can't live with.
Exactly. Yeah.
When they were giving that, you're in 3 weeks holiday, fucking party, barbecue, and I'm getting pissed for 3 weeks. Now they're going, all right, I've had my holiday. When are we open?
What's
No
next?
one's seeing me. Now you'll see people struggling. But this is the time you've got to tighten your belts and be a fucking man. Marshal the fuck up and stop whinging. If the worst thing I've got to do is bed in, mate, honestly, I can bed in. I can bed in. So I don't know, business-wise and that, I don't really want to get involved in it too much because it'll bring on the corona fucking conspiracy theorist people, and they've got enough on the plate, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing will be the same. Nothing's ever the same, is it?
No, it's not.
Is today like yesterday, or is it a bit different?
Again, yeah, it's different. But fair play, you're leading from the front, like you said, sectioning it all off, making sure, as you said, lead from the front, tighten your belt up.
Regarding business and opening, I'm on a front foot. I beat everyone because I do everything quick. Yeah, my place is cornered off, 6 metre training gaps, 2 metre gaps in between, waiting for the day they say you can have minimal social activity starting again. I could fit 24 in the gym with a 6 metre gap. See, I sound like I'm talking to the government that are coming in, don't I? It's different. I've got the hand washed, I've got the sanitizer, but yeah, I don't know, mate. It's one of them. Loads of martial arts clubs will be struggling, but if this is your biggest struggle, fucking grow up. You know, by the time you meant to lead from the front, shit rolls downhill. So as soon as you start whinging, what do you think everyone under you does?
Well, exactly, yeah. You can't whinge, can you? And
well, you can, but you whinge in fucking private, my friend. You have them open, you sit down, then you fucking pull your pants up and you crack on. Or become part of the problem. Not really ask which one.
Very true. Yeah. It's good. Cool. Thank you very much then, Russ. I think that is good.
I've enjoyed it, Mr. Dan. It's nice getting out of the house.
Yeah, I bet, yeah. Had a glass of wine, had a chat, that's all good.
Yeah, it is. Who have you got on next time then?
We've got Matt Chapman on Friday, doing the Mitmaster stuff, and then we've got Joe Tambu on Sunday from Australia. Then Chris Jones, Peter Constantine next week.
You got Peter?
Yep.
I met him.
He says hi, actually. I spoke to him on the phone earlier. He says hello.
He's nice. Yeah, definitely one of the good guys. Jimmy Kelly. Everyone should know Jimmy. If you don't know Jimmy, then you're an internet martial artist, not a proper one. Everyone knows Jimmy. I think I went and met Peter on a service station on the motorway a couple of years ago with him. And as a young person growing up, decided to know what to look up to. He was on the radar. And,
definitely.
That's going to be a good chit chat. Oh, I've got a question you can ask him.
Go on.
I'll send it to you. If I'm going to be asking a question for him, mate, I'll spend more time thinking on it.
Yeah, send it across, mate. Go for it.
I'll tune into that one. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be good. So we've got a few good ones, I think, and then we'll try and get a few more. Keep it going. Nothing else to do. So
you can ask about the hat.
Well,
like I wear hats normally, mate. Come on.
I did want to say, like, what's going on with the hat? Like, have you had a lockdown haircut that's gone disastrous?
No, it's worse than that.
It's just falling out now.
No. My little one goes, I'd let us dye your hair.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, it's a semi-permanent one. Just washes out.
Colour?
Wash out, mate.
What colour?
The colour was going to be putting me back to what I used to be because I'm a natural fucking grey, aren't I? But I was brown, I was dark, I was like black. So this was meant to turn it black. But supposedly, what she found out afterwards, when you put that on your hair, it goes like red.
You got showers, come on.
Fuck off, mate. It ain't happening. Like I said, shit rolls downhill and I go pushing. But that's the reason for the hat. I've got a 12-year-old girl.
So you're a redhead now.
How hard you are when a 12-year-old girl tells you to dye your hair, you dye it.
You dye it. Don't matter who you are, you do it. Yeah. Your daughter says Susan, you do it.
But no, Dan, it's been cracking this little chit chat, mate.
Yes, thank you, mate. I really appreciate it as always.
Oh, it's good. You take care and say hello to all the others for us.
Yeah, I will do, mate. And then hopefully this madness all blows over soon, and then we can get back training. Come on. Oh! I got a sneak peek there. You tease you. Sneak peek.
Okay.
All right, then, mate. Thank you.
Be good.
Cool. Take care, buddy.
Yes.
Right. Thank you. Cool.